Thank you, Ian. It's the clock ticking around towards midday here, and people who've been here for the whole month say that it's probably the hottest day yet in the Azteca Stadium here at midday. A scorching sun, a fantastic atmosphere, and two sides worthy of the World Cup final. The Germans, who today will be wearing green shirts and white shorts, with the Argentines in their familiar light blue and white stripes. The Azteca Stadium packed, of course, to the capacity of 115,000. And the crowds, in fact, were arriving here at 7 o'clock this morning. After a night of torrential rain, the pitch will be a little on the soft side. But in this heat, it's going to be surely a supreme test, not only of nerve, but of stamina too.
La ceremonia protocolaria previa al partido, en que serán interpretados por la banda monumental los himnos nacionales.
So we shall have the national anthems. Anthem, the Brazilian anthem, because the referee today here is a Brazilian, Ronaldo Arpi, and finally the West German anthem. And soon that question that's been asked around the world over the last week, can Maradona be stopped? Can the West Germans win the World Cup for the third time? Those questions will soon be answered. Ron Atkinson, my co-commentator, would you like to put it on the line which way your thoughts are going at the moment?
Well, I think it's very much a case of a player team with one brilliant, absolutely brilliant individual against a team built on method. I mean, I've seen the Germans playing their last 3 games now, Brian, and they're disciplined, not over-adventurous, but they tend to try and wear sides down, which is exactly what they've done. Can they stop Maradona? We believe that Mateus will pick him up, but they've also got other good markers in the side, like Forster, Jacobs and Ada, who'll all be prepared to take it.
Well, here are the teams in. Argentina first, with Pompidou in goal, Cuchufo and Brown, of an Irish descent, incidentally, the big defender, Ruggeri, Olati Churka, that's the commentator's nightmare, Giusti, Batista, who has such a positive role to play just in front of the back four, and Burachaga, who of course does so much to feed Maradona. Enrique, a quick and nimble little midfield man, and the fellow himself, Maradona, and Valdano from Real Madrid. Carlos Bilardo, much abused before this World Cup started, now can say, well, I've taken them to the final. In fact, there's a sign away behind one of the goals in blue and white saying, "Pardon, Bilardo, gracias." We're sorry, Bilardo, and thank you. There were a lot of criticisms of him, and people were saying he should be sacked and should be told to leave the country. But now their mood has changed, and here's the West German side with Toni Schumacher in goal, Briegel, the big man we call the steamroller, Bremer, who scored an important goal in the semi-final, Karl-Heinz Förster, Ada from Bayern Munich, Mateus, who we think is the man who might have to look after Maradona, Magath, the real little workhorse in the midfield, Rummenigge, great forward who really hasn't shown his best form yet, big defender Jacobs, Klaus Allofs, who's had a good World Cup as forward, and Thomas Berthold, who was sent off against Mexico, the 21-year-old who now comes back with their manager, Franz Beckenbauer. The referee, as I said, is Mr. Arpi from Brazil, who has with him a Swedish linesman, and also this gentleman, Mr. Ulloa, from Costa Rica. And Erik Fredriksson is the Swedish linesman. The West Germans then, under this blazing sunshine here at midday in Mexico City, will kick off in the green shirts, attacking the goal to our left. This is Mateus on the ball for them straight away. Germans who've won the World Cup twice, the Argentines who've won it once back in their own country in 1978. This is Forster. Mateus. And that'll be a throw, the ball coming off Valdano. Briegel, I can't think what, but the referee seemed to indicate that Briegel must pull his socks up. The ball is across now with Jacobs. Played in there by Magath for Big Briegel. A flick on again by Rummenigge. Here come the West Germans. Can Briegel get his cross in? It is, and it's low. And knocked away quite comfortably in the Argentine defence in the first touch for Maradona, and not a very positive one, and it goes into touch. Magath quickly with the throw, trying to get Allofs away, and the West Germans win a corner in the opening 90 seconds of this 1986 World Cup. What a feeling, as Ron Atkinson has, that it is a FIFA ruling that players must have their socks up, and maybe that was what the referee was on to Hans-Peter Briegel about, but he habitually wears them about his ankles. Well, it's Bremer with the corner for the West Germans. Berthold, the tall young fullback, is in there too. Maradona got it away, not very far. Bremer. Stopped there for a moment by Cuchufo. Here's Maradona. Cuchufo now. Burachaga gets possession, but the whistle had gone for a foul on Maradona, possibly not the first of the game, or at least not the last of the game. Here's Burachaga now. Side there now to Enrique. Valdano. Chufo. Ruchaga. And Alof's cutting it out, but it's given away to Maradona. That could be dangerous. His little flick onto the far side. The flag is up for offside. Free kick. Eder. Bremer. Magath, his last game in top-class football, Magath, before he becomes the Secretary-General at the Hamburg club. Enrique again. Justi. Valdana. Justi again for Argentina. Enrique. Very much underestimated Enrique in this Argentine side when so many headlines have gone the way of Maradona and Buruchaga. Maradona brought down by Mateus, and it'll be a free kick. Tempted to say surely a little too far out for Maradona to cause too much distress to the West Germans, but with this little man, you never really know. Only 5'4", and Harold Tony Schumacher lining up that German wall, only 3 in it. Buruchaga, in fact, clipping it towards the far side. Berthold's got the header in for the West Germans. Magath will seek to complete the clearance, which he does. This is Brown. Buruchaga. Batista, his first touch. Chufo. Batista. Buruchaga. Enrique again. Now a break again by the Argentines. And across with Buruchaga, hoping to get behind it. And Argentina claiming a corner, the referee saying goal kick. No, in the end, changing his mind and giving the corner. Linesman there and pointing it. Maradona will take it as usual. Buruchaga's in there. Brown has come up from the back. Batista's in there as well. This could be the first little crisis for the West Germans. Hit in low. And somehow, well, it was Batista who got a touch. A clumsy one as well when there was a clear scoring chance on Eckerton.
There was some talk before the game, wasn't about why Maradona takes so many corners. I think that's why he takes them, Brian. He can whip the ball in very, very accurately. And the Argentina have been quite impressive in their build-up with their corner kicking. That was a definite chance, a little touch on. Maybe Batista should have done better.
What have you seen so far about the way they might handle Maradona?
Well, it looks as if Matias is going to try and mark him reasonably loosely. He's not going to pick him up all the while. It looks as if when Maradona pushes right up front, that either Forster or Jacobs will take it. He's going to give them a bit of a problem, though, Brian, because it means if Matias does man-for-man marking, Batista and Buruchaga are going to get an awful lot of room.
Free kick not being taken from the right spot. Alofs will take it. Bertholds again on the far side. Eder's in there too. Rummenigge as well. And Magath. A bit short of a striking force, the West Germans. Rummenigge himself is not fully fit. And neither's Rudi Voller, one of their top strikers, who's amongst the substitutes today. Maradona. Battered from behind. So too was Mateus there. And Maradona goes somersaulting onto the track, and it'll be a throw. The referee, in fact, coming back to have a look, I think, at Mateus, who was clattered by Enrique. Throw the West Germany. Andreas Bremer with it on the far side. Sniffed by Berthold. Jerry. Chufo. Concentration there for a moment by Valdana. Just joined us with about 8 minutes gone. It's 0-0 in this World Cup final in Mexico City between Argentina and West Germany, with the West Germans in the green shirts. Bremer will take their throw. Eder. Bremer. Karl-Heinz Forster was coming out quickly, and it needed Valdano to get there and get it away. Chufo, Batista. Enrique. Justi. Jakobs beaten there. Munchaga coming in. Valdano's waiting in the middle. And the crossing wasn't quite to Valdano's requirements. No trouble in the end for the West Germans. Foul on Elofs. By Kachufo. Is Eder. Forster. Dietmar Jakobs. Friegel. There was an obstruction there by Kachufo on Elofs. This will be another free kick to the West Germans. Norbert Eder with it. Mateus putting on a long one in there, and Eder got in on the far side, but it's a goal kick. In this heat, the pace is leisurely, as you'd expect it to be, Ron.
Yes, I think this has worked against the Germans. I think virtually every game that's been played in this stadium has been played in sort of what conditions you describe as European, but it is, as you said earlier, the hottest day they've had in Mexico City for the last month.
Enrique playing it through, and the marker getting in ahead of Maradona as Mateus gets it back to Schumacher. Here's Friegel. This is the big man they call the steamroller. He's playing in the Italian First Division with Verona. As indeed as Rummenigge, he's been playing with Inter Milan. Free kick to Argentina. Justi, Munchaga. Maradona has made a little break forward. Valdano's on the far side. It was Forster's header. Now Bremer. Berthold, youngest player on the field at 21. And the ball ran kindly for him there. Long striding run, and two strikers waiting in the middle, and he gets a corner.
Yes, Brian, if they're going to use Mateus as a defensive midfield player, they've got to have a lot of pace and a lot of breaks from both Friegel and Berthold in the wide positions. They've struggled a little bit up front of the Germans in the early games, and they badly need the support from from midfield positions.
Well, here are the West Germans with a corner. Friegel's gone into the box. In fact, they've got 5 or 6 in there now, including the tall Berthold again, and Pompidou, good safe catch. Got back in there once more towards Rummenigge. Valdano getting it away. Friegel's header. In fact, he was fouled by Enrique once again, and it's another free kick for Germany. Batista's there. Chaga's the number 7 alongside him. Still a long way up. Mind you, the ball flies in this thin air. Haven't seen many successful free kicks, to be fair. That one from Alofs just goes against the Argentine wall, and there might be a chance of a break here for them. Valdano brought down by Friegel. And as a game, it really hasn't got going yet.
I think that's a situation that will suit the Germans, actually, because I think part of their plan will be to stifle and frustrate the Argentinians.
Maradona's gone on the run again. Mateus is with him, and it's interesting, as soon as Maradona makes any sort of progress and Mateus goes with him, there's always another German filling in behind him. On that occasion, it was the number 17, Dietmar Jakobs. Another corner then for Argentina. Maradona, remember, with 5 goals in this World Cup. Our own Gary Lineker, with 6, is the leading scorer at the moment. Well, Maradona's not taking this corner. It's Chaga. Played a little wider there towards Batista. Magath getting it away for the West Germans. And a good break here again. No. Leg was up. Free kick then to Argentina, which Maradona will take. Here he comes. Famous left foot. Adair getting it away. Minutes gone of this World Cup final, and still no score between Argentina and West Germany. Justi. In goes Ada. Flick. Jakobs away. Alof's underneath it, beaten by Brown. Jakobs. Chaga. Getting the better of Felix Magath, still with Chaga, and then falling and not fooling the referee. Batista, Justi, Batista, Chufo, trying to quicken it up a little bit there towards Enrique. Obviously spent a lot of time, obviously, considering how they can deal with Maradona. Not the first time in their World Cup history that they've had to deal with, without any question, the leading man in the world on the day. They had to do it in 1954 when they beat Hungary. Then, of course, the great Ferenc Puskás was the world's #1. And they did it again in '74 when they beat Holland, when Johan Cruyff was the undisputed #1. Just wondering whether they can do it again now when Diego Maradona clearly is the world's #1. This is Karl-Heinz Forster trying to get Adair away down this left flank. And Briegel making a break and brought down right on the edge. Right on the edge. 2 feet further in, and the West Germans would have had a penalty. And the Argentines are anything but happy with that decision, but it looked a good enough one to me, Ron Atkinson.
Yes, it's certainly a free kick, and I think Briegel looks for these things. I remember seeing him in a game against Italy just before the tournament, when he made exactly the same run as that. It's hard to deal with. It's the same thing as Maradona does at the other end, but there's a definite free kick, and as you said, almost a penalty.
Well, Pompidou, former farm boy, 24 years old. Have only conceded 3 goals in this World Cup so far. One of them, of course, to Gary Lineker in England. Alof's behind it. Briegel behind it. Mateus behind it. And Bremer. And Maradona is being booked as has got the yellow card for showing dissent, which has really sent a buzz around this stadium. The Brazilian referee showing from the word go that reputations will mean nothing to him, and even if you are the world's #1, if you step out of line, it's a yellow card. Well, the free kick has to be taken again. Now, will they try to play it again to Bremer, who of course have scored with a free kick in the semi-final against France? Alofs behind it, Briegel behind it, Mateus and Maga. In fact, Mateus, now here's Briegel. Argentina pulled everybody back and Briegel goes on, but in fact it fouled Maradona. He's had a very disappointing World Cup so far, Hans-Peter Briegel, but he looks as though he might be playing more to his own particular form in this cup final. Well, here's Batista, the little crisis over for the Argentines. Juan Luis Brown. Cachufo. Burachaga. And the break is on for Maradona as Mateus slipped, maybe for one awkward moment. Will he get it back again? 3 Germans crowded around him, and there was no time, space, even for the world's #1. Jerry. Enrique.
Ryan, I think that's an area of the field you'll see Maradona operate more and more in an attempt to lose his mark. Just behind the German left-back area. I think it's somewhere he goes very effectively, where he runs at people and cuts inside them on his left foot.
Referee certainly showing he means no nonsense at the moment. The booking of Maradona, Ron, I presume that was for not getting back the 10 yards when required.
No, I think after the free kick, Brian, what he did, he actually showed dissent at them retaking it. It's a blow for them because it puts him on sudden death, actually.
That's right. It's Bremer. Mateus. Berto. It's Ada now with the cross towards Rummenigge. Tried one of those famous overhead kicks but didn't make a connection, and Argentina got it away. This is Valdana. Being chased by Mateus. Argentina's throw, looking for Maradona and finding him. But no sooner had the ball arrived at Maradona than Dieter Jacobs was there as well. Burachaga trying to find Olatichera on the far side. Olatichera gets the cross in, and Forster getting it away. Chufo now. Game has quickened up just a little bit. Justi for Argentina. Thomas Berto. Now Maradona. A little poke through there towards Burachaga. Chufo. Maradona's gone wide for him. Germans are closed in quickly on him. The back heel has beaten them. Maradona was flattened and the game goes on. And now it's stopped for the foul. That time on Cachufo, and a yellow card against Mateus.
I honestly don't think, Brian, the referee saw that, I think Maradona's kidded him into that.
Well, he's got a free kick as well. Burachaga will take it. Batista's come up from the back. Olatichera's there. Valdana, the big man's in there too. Floated to the far side. And got it in! Brown! His first goal for Argentina comes in a World Cup final. For him and for Argentina. He kisses the ball in delight, and the smile is as broad as the day is hot.
I think you should go and give Schumacher a kiss as well there, Brian, don't you? He came out I think he must have been waving to his mother when he came out for the cross. A lot of defenders there, he had no real need to come over. Once he came, he should have got it. Good header, but the Germans will be very, very sick about that.
30 years old. Started life, in point of fact, in an orphanage. Did Jose Luis Brown. Of Irish extraction, and now a hero in Argentina. Argentina 1, West Germany 0. 23 minutes gone. Tears. I reckon there's something like 25,000 Argentines in the stadium today, and they certainly gave vent to their feelings. The exiles and the people who've come up out of South America to be here on this great day. And what a sight. A stadium that was built back in 1966. The only one ever to have 2 World Cup finals. The first, of course, that great Brazilian victory in 1970. Chaga. Giusti. Maradona well forward now. He does seem, whenever Argentina get into a leading situation, that he does go really right forward, as though he's looking for the kill for that second goal. Well, here's the goal scorer, Jose Luis Brown. Now Enrique.
I think the problem the Germans have got now, Brian, is they've been brought up on the counter. They play on the counter, they try to defend in depth and frustrate the opposition. Now they've got to try and somehow come out and make the game, which isn't easy with the type of players they've got. I think people like Rummenigge really haven't had a kick in the whole tournament, and now it's a great responsibility on them to come forward and try and do something.
Maradona. Father's here, by the way, today, so just in case he gets into any trouble. I thought the boot's on the other foot. He's given everybody a bit of trouble in this World Cup. Batista. Bertoldi with a brave header there.
Ryan, they reckon when Maradona was at Barcelona, you know, it was his father who caused all the trouble. He couldn't keep his father out of discotheques, apparently, in the evening.
Well, the Germans have given the ball away here. A little header by Maradona, getting it back again. Then, well, he got it back again. That's twice they've given it to him. And here come Argentina again. Munchaga was in there, so too was Giusti. And a free kick for Argentina on the edge of the penalty area. And the Germans could well be in deeper trouble now. Now, will the little man who stands 5'4" make it 2-0? Looking for his 6th goal in this World Cup, having scored 2 in the quarter-final against England, 2 in the semi-final against Belgium. And the Brazilian referee insisting that that green German wall gets back the full 10 yards. Maradona versus the wall, and behind it, Harold Schumacher, who may feel he has a due or 2 to pay. Just is going in the wall to cause mischief as well. Troublesome times these for the Germans, and still Maradona waits. And still the referee tries to get the wall back. Munchaga runs over it, Maradona plays it in, and it's stopped by Schumacher. game the Germans have played in the Azteca since last summer. They lost here to Mexico and to England 3-0. So they won't have very happy memories of that at the moment, at this particular place. England goals on that day from Brian Robson and 2 from Kerry Dixon, of course. It's Baptiste. Enrique. Maradona falling. Was he pushed? The referee is taking no notice.
Get a go at him there, Brian, off the ball, Matthias did. He's done that a couple of times. I think he might be getting frustrated with being taken all over the pitch. Maradona's pulling him to all parts now, pulling him short, taking him back into his own back foot, and his concentration's got to be total if he's going to complete the job he's supposed to do.
And in this heat, it's no fun. Here Argentina again, leading by a goal to 0. 28 minutes gone. Chufo to Burruchaga. Enrique. And Giusti losing it to Bremer. A really strong challenge there from Karl-Heinz Förster, got it back again, but here's Burruchaga towards Maradona on the far side. Just a little flutter of panic there for a moment, and the ball turned away by Mateus for the corner. The referee clapping his hands and wanting the Argentines to get across there and take it a little quicker. Hans Beckenbauer, the German manager, 40 years old, 103 caps for his country. Here's the corner again. Maradona tried a flick. Beckenbauer certainly, as the manager, has shaped the side the way he wants it, using his experience of playing in Bayern Munich and in Hamburg. He's brought in players like Jakobs and Eder. They're always a good competition side, the West Germans. They had a dreadful start to the Argentine side, as the captain told us. They had a dreadful lead up to this World Cup. They just couldn't win a game in about 6 months. They seem to have got better the longer this tournament's gone on, in spite of what appear to be dissensions within the camp. That's a goal kick. Amongst European sides, there are fewer, better competitors than the West Germans, so this is not over by a long, long way yet, as Förster brings it forward now for the men in green. Briegel's waiting outside him. Here's Hans-Peter Briegel. Förster was flat, the referee didn't see it. There's an awful lot happening off the ball on Atkinson. In a moment, maybe we can have a little talk about that, as Förster picks it up and will try to get the German momentum going again. There towards Berthold, in fact, got the header down, but Rummenigge got in! Well, the young fullback almost opened up the way for the old maestro there, but his touch has been lacking throughout this World Cup, as Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. Good job there by the young fullback. Ron?
Yes, he showed his anticipation there, didn't he, Rummenigge? First time Berthold's really got into the game in an advanced position. And you're talking about Rummenigge, I mean, he's publicly gone on record as sort of slating Beckenbauer, and really, on his performances, he's lucky to be in the side, isn't he? Going back to the off-the-ball incidents, Brian, there's a lot of jostling, a lot of close marking men-to-men situations all over the field, and people are having a little tug at shirts, and I would imagine, I know they don't all speak the same language, but there's a football language, it's a little bit international when people are having a dip at one another.
Kick to Argentina. Just on the past the half-hour mark, as Burruchaga takes up the running again. Another corner.
This fella actually is causing them more problems than Maradona at the moment. He's getting so much space.
Well, here's Maradona. Let's see what he can do. Little back heel. Wasn't a lot of space there for Burruchaga, but the good old-fashioned shoulder charge on Mateus, and he found a bit of space, and then Mateus with a long clearance. Here's Brown. Vieri. West Germans beat the finalists, of course, in 1982 in Spain. This is young Bremer, the fullback. Magath didn't really get a touch in there. Push, and another free kick. Justi. In the meantime, Kuchufa, I think it is down the Argentine defender. But on the moment it's Maradona. A little flick with the left foot, and another little flick again. As Schumacher comes out, feet first, and it cannons off Maradona behind for the goal kick. What acceleration again here. And certainly an unorthodox bit of goalkeeping, but it came off.
Ryan, that's terrible goalkeeping, isn't it? When we talk about Maradona's acceleration, I wonder how much Schumacher was looking at him when he came through.
Forster. Rummenigge's made a little run away to the left here. Here he is. And the loose ball was pounced on there by not one but three Argentines were after it. Brown got up above the others to get that one away. Swallow dive there by Enrique, brought down by Berthold, and won them a free kick. A little over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Argentina leading by a goal to nil. And good for the referee. He said, I don't think you're that badly hurt. We're going to get on with the game. If you want to lie there, stay there. And I wish a few more over the last month had done the same.
I wonder if at half-time Beckenbauer will change his tactics, Brian, because he's wasting a player, really, or he's wasting two players at the back. He's got Forster and Jacobs that really are doing very little in terms of contributing to the game. He's very, very short in midfield. I just wonder whether he'll release Mathis back into the midfield and try and control the game more.
Well, here's Maradona. Well, watch there by Mateus. Maradona. Chufo. Maradona. By the Argentine captain, a free kick to West Germany. Forster. Bremer. Alofs. Here's Valdana. Has had a new lease of life, Valdana, with Real Madrid. Bueno and Sanchez being their front man. He's had to drop in a little bit behind them. He had a tremendous season with 17 goals, and that's an offside. He's carried that Real Madrid form into the Argentine side as well. Eder's pass, not likely to reach Berthold. Maradona right back there, this time feeding Burruchaga. Forster. Kriegel. Going well, Valdana. A little flick wide, but there's nobody fair enough up. Bucadoo's ball. Swift challenge there by Jacobs. Well done. Jacobs again with a header. Bounce to his right, saw Berthold there. They're playing it now for the young fullback. 21 years old. Alofs in the middle. Magath had got forward. Rummenigge had got forward. All to no avail. And it must be a pretty disheartening business making runs from deep in this heat and then finding there's nothing on the end of it. Maradona with a little touch. And here come Burruchaga, Maradona caught offside as the back four sprang forward quickly. Good discipline there from the Germans. Argentina still leading by a goal to nil. With a little under 8 minutes to go to half-time. Bremer, Alofs, Bremer, Riegel, Magath, foul on Felix Magath, 33 years old next month, wears contact lenses. Off the field is bright red-rimmed glasses, whereas most of us, I suppose, have got bright red-rimmed eyes after the pollution and the late nights we've been having here, Ronald.
You speak for yourself, Brian.
But here's Bremer with the free kick for the West Germans. Can they retrieve something here with 7 minutes to go to half-time? Certainly plenty of free shirts are in there as he dinks a little one in there. And the flag is up for offside. Briegel thought for a moment it was his lucky day.
As some of the Argentines have done in every game, charged up and left people in there offside. But it certainly feels that maybe Germany could learn a little bit of a lesson that England had when the midfield stood up for so long in the first half. And then when they did push into the game, got themselves well back in.
Two players both going for that one, but Chufa got him out of any sort of trouble. Jacobs didn't reach Rummenigge though. Here's Enrique again with Maradona wide on one side, Burruchaga on the other. This is Burruchaga. Maradona's come close. Maradona trying to just flick that ball through again. Batista with a shot and it flicked off a German defender, but was no trouble. Key man in this Argentine side is Batista, isn't it, Ron?
He just does the holding job in the middle of the park and ensures everything up and makes sure when he gets it that Maradona sees plenty of the ball. But if you looked at his appetite for the game at the moment, Brian, I think compared it, shall we say, with Rummenigge and Briegel, for instance, I mean, Briegel looks as if he's on a sponsored walk at the moment.
Free kick then for West Germany. Eder getting it back towards Bremer. Just crossing well. Briegel charged down, and the Argentines were a little lucky there to get that one away. Jacobs. Five minutes to go to half-time. Argentina leading by a goal to nil, but here come West Germany again. Useful header that by Ruggieri, and not a very good piece of work there by Giusti. Now Briegel for the West Germans. Forster getting a big bend from the back forward again. Rummenigge on the far side. Maradona. Ball killed in a fraction. Here he goes. Can they stop him? Well, that's one way. Jacobs brought him down. He stays flat, but I don't think he's hurt. And I don't think he's pulled the referee. And slowly Diego will have to get to his feet. The game will go on.
You've just seen there, Brian, that's the first little bit of concerted pressure that the Germans have put on the Argentinian back four. We don't really know. We're suspicious of them, although they haven't conceded a lot of goals, Argentina. We're suspicious that they would go a little bit under pressure.
Beckenbauer feels that they are almost the perfect side, so superbly balanced, and in his words, without an obvious weakness.
I think that's a little bit of platitude. They're not the greatest side the world's ever seen. They've got a tremendous player and some very good ones alongside it. But they could be beaten by a team pushing at them, I'm sure, Brian.
This is Brown, the scorer. Olati Cuchilla. Spanish descent. His parents were Basques, I think, from Bilbao. Bremer with the throw for West Germany. Jacobs. Deus. Bremer.
Brian, I think one of the things people associate Maradona with, obviously, is his brilliant skills and quick runs and so forth. But I don't think they appreciate quite how much work he's putting into this tournament. He's non-stop, he's playing the captain's role. And the little horrible things that footballers don't like to do, he's doing well.
Famous free kick for West Germany. Mateus. And partido. Plenty of West German flags around this superb stadium. In fact, their Chancellor, Helmut Kohl, is here as well in the presidential box. And also the wives of the German players have all been flown out by the German FA. Except Mrs. Magath, I gather, who's on holiday in Mallorca with her 2 young children. That came first. Well, the breadwinner was doing his stuff here. But Germany at the moment a goal down, with about 2 minutes to go to half-time. Here's Forster for the West Germans. Can they pull something back before the interval now? Rummenigge caught offside. Sad in a way to see him. He's been such a pale shadow of a really great striker that he has been over the last 5 or 6 years. The linesman from Costa Rica. Rummenigge's had, what, 92 caps for his country and scored 46 goals. That's a tremendous rate of scoring there. And he hasn't shown any of that in this last month.
I don't think he's anywhere near fit, Brian. Sharpness, when he's sharp, he's as good as there is in the world.
Kramer. Berto, who really has come on with this World Cup. Little Magath making a scuffling little run there. Might have got a free kick.
I think he's been their star player in the tournament, Brian Magath. The oldest player they've got, and what an example he's been to them. He's
Certainly in the semi-final against France, he was absolutely magnificent, wasn't he? Well, let's see what the West Germans can do now. Here's Bremer with the free kick for them, and there are certainly plenty of green shirts in that Argentine penalty area. Batista got in there and got it away. Backpedaling here for Adair. Rigo. Now, whistle gone for half-time from the Brazilian, Romualdo Arpi.
Okay, apparently Rudy Voller's been warming up, Kevin. You might want to include that in your chat.
Thank you very much indeed, Ian, Diego Maradona, Chaga, 2 men who will be seeking to cause more pain for the West Germans. In fact, they have made a substitution, the West Germans. Rudy Voller is on, but to our surprise, as indeed it must have been to Brian Clough's, it's not Karl-Heinz Rummenigge who's gone off, but Klaus Allofs. There had to be a change there somewhere, and Voller is a good striker with a good record in the West German side. But we're underway again, with Argentina now attacking the goal to our left in this World Cup final, leading by a goal to 0. That time on Mateus by Diego Maradona. The pitch got a bit of stick at half-time from our guests in the studio, but I thought you felt that there was a bit more zip in it than particularly when we played against Paraguay here.
That's right, Brian. It's not the best pitch in the world by a long shot, but certainly it looks as if it's in better condition than when England played both Argentina and Paraguay. At least it looks as if players can sometimes fizz the ball about.
Giusti towards little fizzer Maradona, but again they get it away. It'll be a throw to Argentina.
Can't help thinking that substitution must have been, Alex must have had an injury of some sort, because certainly Rummenigge's not justified staying on, and Alabert is at least a willing horse. He has, as he's proved in this competition. He'll run distances and keep working whatever happens.
I noticed the training staff also having a good talk with another little striker, Pierre Lipbarski, during the half-time interval, so it could well be that he's another one that will come very much into the reckoning if a second substitution is to be made. Certainly the West Germans need something to pep up the pace and cause a few problems in this Argentine defence. But at the moment it's Karl-Heinz Forster trying to get Briegel away down that left, but a badly weighted pass gives Argentina a goal kick. Problems then for Franz Beckenbauer. Played here in the 1970 World Cup semi-final when West Germans lost to Italy. Played in 1966 World Cup final when they lost to England, but at his great moment of triumph, of course, when they beat the Dutch in 1974. And away they go, and the flaggers stay down, and he might come through to Maradona. Ah, Mateus did remarkably well there. He stuck with his pace, kept his discipline, blocked the shot, and it'll be a goal kick. The whistle had gone a little bit earlier. Certainly there was no flag from the linesman. Eder taking a kick from Batista. Mateus. Winninger's gone on a run on the far side. Magath's made himself available. Eder too on the right-hand side. Here he is. Valati Kuchera. Bremer. Foul and a free kick to the West Germans. Budachaga being told to get back by the Brazilian referee, and quickly. Bremer then with the kick. Jostling and bumping and boring in there. The flagger stayed down. It might come to Rummenigge. In the end, Argentina get it away once more. Batista, Maradona, little kick by here, Budachaga, and there are three up and only one German back. Jakobs has got to hold the fort as Budachaga goes on. Valdana, can he turn it back? It's a corner. Well, they really had committed themselves in suicidal fashion then, the West Germans. Suddenly there were three Argentines and only Dietmar Jakobs back.
Yeah, he's done tremendous, hasn't he, to retrieve that situation, Jakobs. But there you saw the value of Batista. He won the attack, he won the ball very quickly in his own half of the field. Little quick ball to Maradona, who spotted Borrachega with a brilliant piece of vision.
So a corner then to Argentina. In the meantime, the referee's attention being called to an Argentine player injured at the other end of the field. It is at the moment, can you, Ron?
Is it Big Brown, or is he going up the corner?
Whatever it is, it looks serious. I think it's Jose Luis Brown.
It's the only problem, Brian. We've seen this happen so many times when that stretcher comes out. The fella's lying down as if he's been poleaxed, and all of a sudden, the sight of the stretcher seems to get him back on his feet.
Sight there of Carlos Hidalgo, the Argentine manager. Took over from Cesar Menotti, also a qualified children's doctor. I know there are cynics who say, well, that should qualify him very well to be a football manager. But I wouldn't say that, Ron. Well, Brown is still down. There seems to be some concern.
Just wondering when they had the last free kick a few minutes ago, there was a bit of jostling going on into the box between Brown and I think it was Forster.
Well, it's Brown who's in trouble. And it's a shoulder problem, Ron, which you know well.
Let's hope they've got a harness in the dressing room for him.
He's in a lot of pain. The man who scored the opening goal in this World Cup final Looks as though he may not at the moment be there to finish it off. Corner to Argentina. Frigo gets it away. Bastista returns it. Valdana on the far side for Argentina. Stopped though by Thomas Berthold. Frigo, or slip. Magaf trying to retrieve it. Everybody tumbling and falling all over the place. The free kick's been given to the West Germans. And Brown is back, holding an injured arm, which is very reminiscent of Franz Beckenbauer here in 1970 when he played the semi-final with his arm in a sling against the Italians. He is in a lot of pain. Free kick to the West Germans. Mateus with it, trying to get Bremer in. Played in early. Brown, the injured man, got the header in, and it was an important one for Argentina. Here's Maradona, and quickly closed down by Forster. Giusti versus Jakobs. Away comes Grigol. Angling with Cuchufo. The old steamroller still won't give up until he gets a corner.
Well, they look as if they've had a bit of a pep talk off Beckenbauer at half-time. They look as if there is more fight and urgency about them this half.
But it stays still 1-0 to Argentina with the goal by José Luis Brown. But a corner then for the West Germans, a bit more fizz about them in the early part of this second half. Berthold's up with a header. And here comes Valdana. Stopped by Bremer. Still touching again there to Berthold. Another free kick to West Germany for a handball that time. Bremer with it. Voller in the middle. Briegel's come up. Karl-Heinz Fuster's in there too. West Germans making a charge at the Argentines in this first part of this second half to try and retrieve the situation. The goal down. Andreas Bremer with the free kick for them. Half a dozen green shirts in that Argentine penalty area. Mateus. Played short to Felix Magath. No, it won't reach Rummenigge. Here's Maradona. Again, Magath was in quickly. Bremer. The injured Brown. You see the pain that he caused there, at least. Berthold calls. And Pompidou having a word with the young fullback there. And I think he was entitled to seek that ball, even if it meant a collision with this Brown, who is, as you can see, in so much pain now with that injured right shoulder.
We've been saying, Brian, all through the tournament, something always seems to turn up for the Germans, doesn't it? Okay, there's the key centre-half injured at the moment, and all of a sudden, it's even gone cooler, which will help the Germans if they're going to mount a charge.
Jakobs, picked on by Magath. Chufo, tangling with Rummenigge. Picked down there by Berthold. This is Adair, as the Germans are coming forward again. That was a poor cross. But Bremer might put a more teasing one in now this time. Let's give Adair the chance to do it. That's a free kick. Now by Olati Kuchia. Certainly a much more promising opening 10 minutes of the second half of the West Germans. A goal down, but now, just as England did in the last 30 minutes of their game in the quarter-final, beginning to carry the battle towards Argentina. Bremer with it. 2, 4, 6, 7 green shirts in the box. Put it down in point of fact by Brown towards his own goalkeeper. Valdana. Maradona. Simple little touch, but a good one to Enrique. And now Valdana, and this could be the break again for Argentina, and he's scored! 2-0! I don't think there's any coming back from that.
well, that's always one of the dangers, Brian, isn't it, when you push forward? But look how Bremner dives in here. He's actually looking for offside. Don't think he could have just held Valdano up and contained him and waited until people got back. But that was really poor defending. Good finishing, though.
And again, as Schumacher came out, the ball placed neatly wide of him. And Jorge Valdano from Real Madrid. 4 goals in 7 games here now for him. He's been a real star, just playing behind the front 2 all the time for Argentina. Just as he does in Madrid. It's beginning to look a good thing now for Argentina. But Mateus planting it forward again. And Pompidou with the ball. Germans haven't conceded a goal in their last 3 World Cup games, but now the 2 here today might well prove to be their undoing. The injured Brown again with a header. And all the Argentine fans will be looking just for a piece of Maradona magic to put the cherry on the cake. Valdano was brought down. It's the free kick. All of these players have been so much about Maradonas and the Bullet Chargers and so on, but Valdano's played a tremendous part, really, hasn't he? He's a bit of an adventurer, actually. He was one of the first Argentines to come and try his luck in the European game. Maradona. Free kick, again to Argentina. And Enrique spotted it. He outwitted it there, and he's found Burruchaga. And Jacobs, is it a corner? No, Schumacher stopped it. Maga. Mateus. Bremer. Bertold. Getting into the byline. Brown trying to come across and cover. It'll be a goal kick. Just wonder how long they'll keep Brown on now. He's obviously in such discomfort. And can't really be that effective at the back there.
No, but I would think, Brian, he won't be too keen to come off now, will he? You can see a World Cup medal. I'm going to say within his grasp, whether he can get hold of it or not, I don't know. From the German point of view, I just wonder how long the kid Bertolden with Littbarski sitting there. He is essentially a defender, isn't he? Trying to play as a winger.
Jacobs winning it in the air. Enrique, but the whistle had gone. The foul on Giusti. The free kick taken, and Mandra's on his way. Can he get past Briegel? No, the long legs of the big German stuck out. And it'll be a throw to Argentina. And it looks as though the Germans will shortly be bringing on Dieter Hoeneß. He's already been once on as a substitute in this World Cup. He's another big striker from Bayern Munich. Germans get it away. Briegel. And here's Faro Ruggieri. Playing wide here now. Alberto Gutierrez just kept in, and very well kept in, and wins a corner.
At the moment, Brian, the Germans are looking at a team of ragbags, aren't they? They seem to have lost the thing that is so important to them, their discipline, and I just wonder about their spirit a little bit.
Yes, Valdano's goal, just when it looked as though they were pressing and might have reason for optimism, within a flash, it had all gone wrong. They want to bring Hoeneß on, and the referee isn't ready for them to do that yet. was touch and go, but in fact it was a free kick. It'll be Magath who comes off. So Felix Magath, it's his last game. His career finishes as he substituted, and Dieter Hernes, who's already been on as a substitute in this World Cup campaign, and slightly embarrassing as well. It was a match when absolutely nothing went right for him. And he's a big, honest striker. What Germany need now is a big and successful striker.
They seem to have they seem to put Berthold back into his right full-back position. Where Bremner's playing at the moment, I don't know. Whether they're going to, it looks as if Bremner
slotted him into Magath's place, I think, haven't they?
And it looks as if Rummenigge might be going to play in a wide position.
Rummenigge with the throw. And a foul throw, and it'll be one for Argentina. Still a World Cup final that really hasn't caught fire yet, has it?
Well, I think we said, some time ago in the tournament that the Germans weren't the side that they have been. It's organisation and resilience has got them to the final, but they really haven't played today. Not by the standards they've set themselves.
What about this for a run then by Enrique, brought down, and that'll be a free kick? Yes, he has.
He's the player, Brian, Enrique, but Menotti was saying he feels he's the best player in Argentina next to Maradona.
There's a booking. Yellow card for Briegel, I think it was. Maradona with it. Maradona. Argentine throw. Cachera with it. That caption, you can see why that name is a nightmare for commentators. Well, the game at the moment is disintegrating into a shambles. What it badly needs is a West German goal to be conjured up from somewhere to bring it back to life, I think. But here's Briegel, and now Rummenigge, as Ron was saying, playing much wider since that substitution. Rummenigge's cross, coming off Cuchufo, Valdano now. Ernest getting in there. And he goes down. So another free kick. Bremer taking it. Played in short to Mateus. And an offside there against Bremer. And a free kick to Argentina. Argentina goalkeeper. Nearly Pompidou. Feel calm and content, he said, before this World Cup final, and he's every reason to be now. He hasn't really been overworked, and his side are 2-0 up. Chufo to Pulachaga. Now Hernes. Leading quickly by Bremer, but Brown, who's moving just a little easier now. That arm doesn't seem to be troubling quite so much. Schuster keeping it in. No, he didn't. It's a throw to West Germany. Go on.
That'll get easier every time, every second they get closer to the final whistle, won't it?
So 20 minutes of the second half gone. Argentina leading West Germany by 2-0 in this World Cup final. Here's Rudy Voller, who's hardly had a touch since he came on as a substitute at half-time. Cleared by Valdana. And the Argentinian side at the moment just seeming content, Ron, just to play a containing game, content with their two. They'll look for a third if it shows itself on a counter-attack. But they're not in the mood to take too many risks now. Ada. Just coming in there, but it should be Pompidou's or Brown's. Brown, in fact, with the header. Lati Teixeira. Jacobs with a header. Ah, the bounce. Beat Valdana. It might put Riegel in, and, well, that man, Brown, was there again. What a hero he's been. Scorer of the first goal, although really nasty shoulder injury. He's come back and battled away, got in the way of that shot at the expense of a corner, which Bremer is now about to take. Swinging in. It's a free kick.
Looks very much, Brian, as if Franz Beckenbauer has sort of gambled all his eggs and said, all right, we'll get in wide position, we'll just lump the ball into the box and see whether we can force a goal. They certainly haven't looked capable of creating anything really inventive.
Thomas Berthold giving it away now. Enrique. And Valdana got in above Riegel. And remember, Maradona with his 5 goals, still that 1 goal behind Gary Lineker. Golden boot for finishing top of the World Cup. Might well go to the Everton striker.
You always get the impression, Brian, that Maradona's got something left in his locker, didn't he?
I was about to say the same.
He's done a tremendous job for me today in terms of the way he's applied himself and worked for his side. But now we're ready for one of his moments of brilliance, aren't we?
Indeed. Halfway through the first half then, Argentina leading by 2 goals to 0. Halfway through the second half, Forster getting it back. Berthold. Berthold again. Adair, well, they only dummied themselves. The ball fell to Argentina again. Giusti, now Buruchaga. And look at the space. Oh, he was given offside. The flag was a little late coming up, and Enrique can't believe it. I must say, to me, he looked as though he might have been fractionally onside.
I would have said about 10 yards onside, Brian. He came from such a deep position. Yeah, mile onside.
Maradona. Well, let's see whether Enrique can get in again. This time Buruchaga's made a run on this side. Giusti. In comes Hoeneß. Loses as Buruchaga takes it up. Some lovely control. Oh, delightful control there by Buruchaga. In the end, comes to nothing.
But Argentina are in a lovely position now, aren't they? They've just got to keep the discipline, keep knocking the ball about. They know that the Germans have got to try and force the game, Brian, and what's going to happen is more and more spaces are going to develop for the likes of Maradona, for Valdano, and people like that.
Bremer. So the message is really to stay watching. You might just find that the space is there for a piece of Maradona magic before the day is over. Berthold. Jacobs for West Germany, 2-0 down. Bremer. They've hardly been prolific scorers, the Germans, in this World Cup. In any case, they've only scored 6 in this month in Mexico. Rudy Voller. Berthold playing it in early. Brown up there with a header. Little overhead, and here's Maradona, but he showed too much of that to Briegel. They claim it was handball. The referee said no, and Germany stay in possession with Forster. Played towards Hoeneß. He got his header in. Goal kick. Argentina, who beat South Korea, they drew with Italy and then beat Bulgaria. Then that great match against Uruguay, they won 1-0, and in the quarterfinals they beat England. In the semis, Belgium. Scoring 11 goals, conceding only 3, and Franz Beckenbauer knows the task is really a massive one now for his side, who in turn drew against Uruguay, beat Scotland after going behind, and lost to Denmark. beat Morocco with a free kick right at the end, beat Mexico on penalties, and then got through against France in the semis. The throw then to Argentina. Maradona is put on the deck, but he still gets up to get a little ball through. But Justi, and Buchaga, arriving late, turns it wide. And the ball is kicked away by Olviden, and the referee, I think, is thinking of a booking, and then decided in the end not to. He was feeling in his pocket for a moment. Sorry, Roman, interrupts you.
I was just going to say, I think you might be discrediting the German player there. He just nicked it around the corner for nicked it around the post for a corner.
Buchaga with the corner. Valdana. The whistle had gone, and a free kick to the West Germans. Inside the last 20 minutes, Berthold for West Germany. 2-0 down. Rudi Völler. Gorster. Gorster. Berthold. He's coming in there. Pompidou not getting a lot of distance with his push rather than the punch, but Enrique was there to help him out. Now Justi to Valdana, man who scored the second goal. Free goal for Bremer. Here come the Germans again, and they get a corner. Bremer with the corner for West Germany, and forced in by Rummenigge. Well, maybe it's not over yet. Il Maestro, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. Only one goal in his last 11 internationals has suddenly and surprisingly maybe opened it up again. Ron Atkinson.
Brian, that's a striker's goal. A little bit of credit. It wasn't a great corner, actually. It looks as if he's mishit the corner. Boller's got a good touch, and he scored a striker's goal. He's done what he's been paid for. And you just got the impression, just a few minutes beforehand, that maybe the Argentina were getting a little bit sloppy, a little bit casual. They actually gave that corner away through casual play. And we've said so many times, haven't we, in the past, the Germans, no matter how badly they're playing, always seem to be able to get back in the frame.
They'll battle and scrap to the last. They have a fantastic competitive spirit, and now they've got just a little something to work on. Not to be taken lightly. The odds still favour Argentina, but we saw how they very nearly crumbled against England when put under pressure in the last half hour of that quarter-final. Now let's see if the Germans can do the same sort of thing in this World Cup final. Or will Maradona and Buchaga find another opening? It's Buchaga on the ball at the moment. Enrique is held off, and there's a play on, said the Brazilian referee. Well, now, we might really have a game on our hands as Bremer comes forward for the West Germans. Here's Berthold. Will he get to the byline? No, the flag was up.
Brian, the circumstances have actually dictated how the Germans play now. And Mateus has completely left Maradona for the two central defenders to deal with. And they're now concentrating on their own game. And who knows? They haven't looked impressive, but they've still managed to push the game a little bit. And as you see then, they're only one goal behind now, and anything can happen.
Well, the German voices in the Azteca Stadium are really heard for the first time on the day. Rigo beating Valdana in the air. Cuchufo that time beaten by the determination of Hernis. At that time a foul by Rummenigge. 2-1 the score with 15 minutes left. So the little sight there of Rummenigge saying he could do with a drink of water. Well, they might do with a little help at the back there as Maradona's on his way. And that time it was Dieter Jacobs who got back quickly to deflect the cross for the corner. Maradona will take it. Batista, Valdana, Burruchaga are all in there. Something like 7 Germans back to mark them as well. Briegel's header. Argentina's throw. Brown and Valdana then the scorers for Argentina. Rummenigge for West Germany. Briegel in first. Bremer. Rudi Völler. Hans-Peter Briegel. Völler. Bremer. Germany's throw. Berto. Rummenigge's waiting there in the middle for a cross. And the throw goes Argentina's way. It's twice that young Berthold has been down that right flank since Germany scored. But neither time has been able to get any sort of cross in. Yellow card for Alati Kochia, presumably for time wasting taking that throw. Jerry's header, and here goes the little man Maradona. That wasn't a good enough touch though, and it always gave Forster the chance to get in, which he did. Bremer to Ada. Back again to Bremer. The Germans are certainly sensing now that this World Cup final's not over by a long way. Here's Rummenigge. Is that a foul on Völler? Was indeed. It's a free kick for the West Germans. A chance for them to float another dangerous ball into that Argentine box. Bremer, free kick specialist with it. Plenty of big men are poised, including Hoeneß, who tried to get in there but couldn't quite make it.
They've actually a little bit of balance as well since Bremer's moved over to that side of the pitch, Brian. Briegel struggled a little bit of making any progress. In fact, he looks absolutely out on his feet at the moment, just trying to get this drinks of water.
That was Briegel again, hitting the ball straight to Maradona. Germany's throw. Through to Briegel, played on first time to Forster. Jacobs, back again to Briegel. Argentina with everybody now behind the ball as Briegel floats this one in. It'll be Batista's header away to Burruchaga, and now to Maradona. A little header on, and he goes diving looking for the free kick, but the referee again says no. Oh yes, he does. Well, Maradona didn't fool the referee, he fooled me instead. But he does go looking for free kicks all the time, doesn't he, Owen?
That's right, I think he was entitled to that one. I mean, his pace has taken him past Briegel, who really is blowing very hard, to say the least.
Well, he'll have to stay on because the Germans have made their 2 substitutions. Enrique trying to get Giusti in on the far side now. Flag is up. Argentina's throw. Itching really for the Germans now to have a go at to get at the other end of the field and have a go, because you sense that unless Maradona does something, that you sense that Argentina might get will to gain.
That's right. I mean, I just saw Rummenigge a few minutes ago trying to pull everybody forward. He was having a right go at Briegel, who was about 25 yards behind the rest of his team.
Berthold. Now here is Rummenigge. 30-year-old, father of 3. He's got all the ambition back now after scoring that goal. Mateus playing it in there towards Hoeneß. Got the header in. And Pompidou putting it behind for the corner. So now there is more pressure on them. And again, you can hear the German voices around the Azteca Stadium.
The daft thing is, Brian, they're getting back into the game. Here's a prime example of what we call typical English football, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Closing down high up the park and just lofting high balls into the box.
And Enrique not going back 10 yards. And he gets a yellow card for his pains as well, because he knew that he was wrong. Why he was doing it, I don't know. Sometimes they baffle you. Corner coming in. And he's there! Voila! 2-2! Well, what were we saying a moment ago? What an astonishing comeback by the Germans, who looked dead and buried 10 minutes ago. A flick on, and again a poacher's goal by Rudi Völler. And an astonishing World Cup final has been turned upside down, and the Germans have brought it back to 2-2.
That's great instinctive finishing, isn't it? I just wonder how much the Argentinians are missing, how much the injury to Brown's affected him at the back. Because he's certainly not competing on those challenges now like he was before the injury.
Well, now, they really do look to Maradona, with 10 minutes, or under 10 minutes left. Batista. It looked an absolute formality for Argentina, and it may still be. That looked like handball there by Jacobs. And suddenly, having saved themselves, they could be pitched right back into trouble again. Maradona will get behind this one. And every German heart will flutter. Well, we've talked about their competitiveness before, but I really thought they were out of it when that second goal, that Valdana goal, went in. They looked to shambles and quite incapable of pulling it around. Well, the little man hits it straight at the wall, and the wall gets it away. Cuchufo now. That's Schumacher's ball.
It makes you wonder, Brian, if they started off by having a go, what would have happened? Because certainly we said at the onset that we didn't think the Argentinians were a great side at the back, despite their record. We saw that against England. As soon as England chased the game and pushed onto them, they had them in all sorts of problems.
Bremer. And an offside flag is up. Well, they had a rotten start to the day, the West Germans, because of the enormous traffic jams which you always seem to get in Mexico City. They arrived 40 minutes later than they planned, and they were all fretting a little bit about that. 2-0 down, and suddenly everything has started to come right for them. Now, Maradona, a touch by him, Munchaga's onside, played onside by Riegel, and there's the reprieve for Argentina. Munchaga makes it 3-2, and there are Germans back on the ground in utter and total despair. Played onside by Riegel. Kept his head superbly as Schumacher came out. And Argentina are back in the lead. Munchaga.
Brilliant finish, Brian, brilliant. He had the same situation in the first half, didn't he? Brilliant ball from Maradona. That's great cool finishing. He may have had the chance to face it across, I think it's to Valdano. He took the selfish way and he took it bravely. That was a first-class example of slack marking at the back. Germans probably relaxing from the fact they just got back to 2-2.
Doesn't happen so often, though. You get yourself into a situation where the game seems to be saved. You relax, your concentration goes for a second. Maradona pounced with a lovely ball through for Munchaga. And Argentina are back in the driving seat. And the West Germans, can they pull it round again? Well, they've less than 5 minutes now to do it. Rummenigge's not given up as the cross comes in, and Völler tried to get in there. Well, it certainly made it a splendid second half in this World Cup final. The despair of the Argentines having forfeited a 2-goal lead. Pompidou looks as if it might be in danger of getting a yellow card. Again for wasting time, and he laid his hands on the referee. And he's very touchy, this referee, about that sort of thing. So the Argentine goalkeeper gets a yellow card as well. In the depths of despair, conceding a 2-goal lead. And then suddenly the Germans turn to despair. And they seem to have at least saved themselves. Only to throw it all away. Maradona. And Germany's throw.
I think it's fitting as well, Brian, that if that is the winning goal, it's scored by the guy. Certainly I've made the best player on the field today. I think Buriciaga's had a super game. He's benefited as well from the fact that all the attention's been paid to Maradona and give him the space to operate it.
Listen, we've written the Germans off once, don't let's do it again. Here's Briegel. I think it was the poor, tired Briegel that played Buriciaga onside. Maradona, here goes again, taking the ball from Giusti. Buriciaga's in there too, Maradona. Buriciaga, Maradona, he almost kept his feet. Oh! But the whistle had gone, I think. The whistle had gone for the first challenge and not for what surely would have been a penalty.
We talk about Maradona's dribbling ability, but his first touch when he played the give and go with Buriciaga was unbelievable.
The whole place becomes supercharged every time he gets the ball and makes those diving little runs. And there was the dive, but the whistle already gone. Well, the Maradona chance may not have gone yet, because he'll be lining up this free kick. Around about 3 minutes are left. Argentina leading by 3-2. Maradona poised and wanting the German wall back the full 10 yards. Buriciaga's around. Enrique's made a little run. Maradona saved by Schumacher. Free kick to West Germany. Mateus getting it back to Schumacher. Jakobs. And they yet, in the time that is left, find salvation. No, Batista's there. Jakobs to Forsberg. Lining it forward, hoping that Hernes and company might find a header, but Ruggieri got up ahead of him. Germany's throw. Rummenigge has found fresh life. He's also found Bremer with the throw, with space, and there's certainly space for Rummenigge. He's onside, but he tried too much, and Brown suffers more pain as he gets the ball away. In the last minute of the game now. A poor first half has been transformed by real drama in the second. And the referee, just seeing how seriously Brown is injured, or whether he can go on. That terrible shoulder injury caused him to leave the field for a few minutes early in the second half. Frustrating this for the Germans, because referees in this World Cup have a habit of not adding much time on for injury, and the Germans know that they need every possible second. And Argentina now going to bring on Fabiani as substitutes, and they're taking off Buriciaga, who wanted to have a handshake with the referee before he went. Really taking his time, and the referee clearly has got to add a bit of time on. We're way over the 45 minutes now.
Yeah, this is all, Brian, is to take the heat out of the game from the Argentinian point of view. Just cool the game down, stop the German sort of surge, and just play out the remaining few seconds. I mean, Buriciaga's his best player coming off, not injured.
So he might get a substitute on now. Troviani. He'll get on for a few seconds in a World Cup final and might not even get a kick. It's Argentina's throw. Cuchufo with it. It's with Jakobs. They want to pound that ball forward. Rummenigge's there, and the header goes into touch. It's going to be another Argentina throw. So much time wasting going on at the moment, and a bit of gamesmanship as well there. Kachir with the throw. He better not take too much time because he's already got a yellow card for time wasting taking a throw. Oh, there was a kick there by Voller on Maradona. Another Argentine throw. In fact, it was a free kick taken by Maradona. A back heel, and Enrique's in, and Valdana's waiting in the middle, and Schumacher is equal to it. Quick throw out. Mateus pumping it forward again. Batista in there for Argentina, and the Argentinians looking now at the referee and saying, come on, ref, the time is up. But he's playing on a sensible amount of injury time because there has been some to Jose Luis Brown. But now it's over, and Argentina are the new world champions. 3 goals to 2. Stewards are having a hopeless task keeping people off the pitch. Diego Maradona, and they're jumping around the Argentina players now in sheer delight and in sheer relief as well, you can be sure of that. They thought they'd blown it a few minutes ago, and Burruchaga was through to save it for them. A lovely pass from Maradona. It means, of course, that Maradona finishes the World Cup with 5 goals, and Gary Lineker remains the leading goal scorer in this 1986 World Cup with 6. Certainly a much better second half, Ron Atkinson.
Yes, the Germans realised they've got to come forward and try and win the game. But to get back in it, there's no good sitting back, and at least they made a game of it. Not a great performance by them, I don't think. Argentina, full marks them, creative, coming forward, did well. At the back, always looks as if they could be taken.
And the silver coming out of the skies now from the roof of the stands on what has been a golden day for Argentine football. Winners of the World Cup in 1978 and winners again in 1986.